Good morning and night, guys. My name is Miss Sunshine. Welcome to a game called Lake of Voices. So, as far as I know of, I think this is one of those choose your own adventure story type games. I don't know much about it. I just happened to see it on Steam. It looks pretty cool from the art style, so I do think it is story based. So, let's just get in and see what it's about. You'll need to make various decisions throughout Lake of Voices. Here are a few details to keep in mind. Certain choices are timed. Time running out isn't something to completely avoid. In some cases, not getting involved can open new possibilities. Ooh, okay. Alright, if you survive until the second night, the story will branch into one of five different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. Other characters cannot manage all situations in the various plot lines regardless of what you do, blah 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 blah. Becoming closer to someone can add and or remove future choices, options, and change how some things play out. Good to know. My grip on my lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens. While the forests in this area are relatively safe compared to Sonolas, I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get. My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword, something akin to a nervous reflex.
Have you seen it before?
Bimmel breaks the silence, either sensing my unease or as sorry, assuaging his own, sorry. I hope it's the
I
latter.
haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What of you?
Is that my name, Kika? Kika's awesome. Bimmel scratches his chin, casually, as though I ask what his favorite food is.
I traveled the long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. The lake, Sonolas, must try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross it unearthly black water, dragged to death by the creatures lurking within, aren't a secret.
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
There are a few who've had first-hand experience with the place, even if from a distance, who'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross, for however long he's with us. Bamel shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
Agreed.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
One of our allied villages, Femur, is being harassed by brigaders, a band of ruffians. We don't have many guards to send as an assistant, only Bamel and myself. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but have to be put down lest they turn into a blood grudge or all-out war. The last we heard, neither option was that far off.
I can also see why they chose you to come out here.
Can you? Is it because of my good looks? I glance at Bamel, an eyebrow raised. A slight smile plays across his lips.
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. You're
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to skip that. A smile now tugs at my own lips. I would like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I like to keep it that way. Oh, okay. My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow, and he chuckles a bit before refocusing on the path. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. But Mel appears to feel differently, however.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though. It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. But Mel is a talkative sort, and if chatting helps keeps his worries down and his sword hand ready, I have no complaints. After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it sounds of water gently lapping at its side. Bamel shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense.
Someone's already here.
I don't see anything. What the heck? Oh, a young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us warily. Does she intend to cross tonight? Evidently, she has the same question as we step up next to her. It's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger nods curtly to us.
Margaret.
Kika the Steadfast.
Kika the Steadfast. That's me. It's me, Kika.
Bamile. Hello?
Bemele. Sorry. Kept calling him Bamel. Bemele. There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns to gaze out across the lake, expression unclear. With not much to say, Bamele and I do the same. From here, the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Wind brushes across its surface, a sound like whispering. Though perhaps it actually is whispering, I concentrate, trying to place the difference, searching for breaks in rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It doesn't matter what the noise is, whether I hear them or not. We're not alone. The Nixie are out there. The Nixie? The feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed the little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. My stomach sinks, and I instead address Bamele. Sorry.
Where is the guide?
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine. It's dark as pitch out there.
Maybe she is the guide. Panic rises inside me. Panic I tried hard to quell.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
The woman behind us, Margaret, cuts in with something like a snort.
What?
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Oh. Whatever. Bamele and I share a look. The woman seems haughty and willing to put up a fuss.
I have his word he'll take me today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
I'm gonna punch you, and I don't even know you just yet. We're gonna fight. I don't need to turn my attention to Bamele to know he's riled up. I step in before he can say something rash.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Exactly. Margaret is unimpressed and opens her mouth to argue further.
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
Exactly. She clamps her mouth shut and lets out a sigh. Yeah, that's right.
You can do
Shut
as
it.
you like.
I know we can. Shut your mouth. With the matter tentatively settled, Bamele moves away. His finger begins to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans.
What's that bastard even up to?
Minding his, of course. I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better. I'm sure of that. It's not worth mentioning.
With a mouth like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you across.
And with a mouth like that, you should just keep quiet, stand in a corner and think about life. K.
How ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
Do you know anything that's happened with this lake?
I know enough.
Do you now? And by the way, love the music in here. Love it. It's nice. Margaret is clearly not convinced, but she shrugs and makes a show of turning her back to
The
him.
guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died, in this lake. Your statement could be seen as tasteless.
Oh.
Bamele rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about his... well, that.
Exactly. A smile spreads across my face, one I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak. The silence slowly stretches between the three of us, growing more awkward with each passing second. Margaret seems irritated, and Bamele abashed. You're quite informed, Margaret. I'm sure you're feeling, Bamele. Say nothing. Let's learn a bit more about her. You're quite informed.
It's been years since the time of Garvin the Exemplar. It's impressive you knew.
Margaret smiles, lifting her chin into the air. The over-exaggerated action is somehow pleasant rather than belittling. She's, she's so much happier than I had anticipated.
Yes, I do like to stay informed. And you knew too. Good. This lake shouldn't be allowed to swallow even history itself.
My town, the one where I was born at least, was also Garvin's hometown. I was very young when he passed. The entire village went into mourning. People broke down crying in the streets. I'll never forget it. He meant much to everyone who knew him.
Oh, I have no such connection. I merely read about it.
She pauses, seeming to scan the air in front of her for something to say.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's all right. Thank you.
My town may have taken pride in Garvin the exemplar and what he achieved, but we weren't the ones who lost the most. That would be his family. We each remained locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. And then, eventually, a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying the lantern. That must be the guide, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives off. Because what? It's not him. The figure steps onto the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it is no longer safe. He stops in front of us and simply stares.
Are you the guide of Sinlos?
Sinless. The man nods. He has a sharp face and weary eyes.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
Famele motions to the two of us and Margaret approaches, a strange smile on her face.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
Something's not right with him. The guy turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. It must not be a lie. He would have had to say something otherwise. She really does have a preference to travel with him. That's a problem.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Yes, I will allow all three of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
I volunteer Margaret. I furrow my brow. It's a disturbing admin, and one offered with little emotion attached. Bellarmé glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do with such circumstances.
You should go around.
The sentence hangs in the air, that second half unspoken, if you want to live.
We don't have time for that.
You
There are
don't
people
know that.
counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
He jerks a finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger.
I don't need to explain myself to you. My journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
She meets Bellarmé's eyes with a gape still. He starts to speak, and she cuts in.
An extra day or two shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
Look who's talking, okay?
The night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
Oh gosh. The guide is dispassionate, stoic. I almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share the trait myself. Bellarmé pulls me to the side, jaw clenched
That
tight.
woman isn't armed.
His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret.
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes?
But
If
Melanie,
one of us
we're
really
not
is
doing
to
that.
die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
I stare at the dock, refusing to meet Bemelé's eyes, and try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
Exactly.
What?
You heard me. Famele leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I remove the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
His face is grim.
Then what else do you have in mind?
First of all, You and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
Right. That's not a question.
Okay. I cross my arms, a hand on my chin. I have full confidence in my abilities and in Belmele's, whatever. But there's no reason not to believe the guide knows exactly what he's talking about. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we each deserve. That would mean we truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of our own. Say nothing. The guide approaches Melee and me before I have the time to sort out my thoughts.
You will stay.
What?
No, I should have gone. Darn it!
You would have already decided to come if you had the proper mindset for a journey such as this. You two will stay.
Oops.
But you don't understand.
The guy raises a hand to me, eyes cold, my words die in my throat. If he decides we aren't fit to cross, how could we persuade him otherwise?
This is bullshit! We are more than equipped to make this journey, and we know more of what it means to be in danger than most will know in all their life.
You two will stay.
But Melee's muscles tense, and I put a hand on his arm. He trembles slightly beneath my fingers, his hands curling themselves in the fist, but he doesn't say another word. The guide turns around and heads onto the bridge. Margaret uncomfortably looks from the guide to us.
Goodbye.
Then she steps onto the bridge after him. The Melee sighs, the anger releasing from him, as they disappear into the fog.
Farewell.
Be safe. We reached Helmer safely, though it took much longer than we would have liked. Much of the village had been damaged or even destroyed. It was my fault for taking so long. I did all I could to aid them in defending the town and repairing what could be salvaged. Oh my gosh. I'm really disheartened by how little assistance we were able to provide. However, he could not deny how fortunate we were to have both made it all, especially after we caught wind of a report being given by a guide to the elders before that night. Every village close enough to Sonola's gets informed of what occurred in that lake. He does so because communities wish to be made aware if they have lost one of their own. This time, his news was the death of a young woman, the one we spoke to. Margaret is gone. I have not heard nor seen the guide myself since then. I must assume he is still there on that foggy shore, waiting for desperate souls to seek out his light so they may cross the lake of true darkness. It's a lot of reading. Although I regret that I was not able to do more to protect these people, no one admonishes me for it. They seem sure that I did everything possible. I hope that is true, even if I cannot bring myself to believe it. Soon, Bemele and I will return home, and we will once again take the long way around. My one piece in all this, safe is what I'm at. That knows will be far behind me in a matter of days. I intend to keep it there. Lake of Voices. Wow. Okay, cool. So, this is only part one. I think what I'll do is I'll go back and instead of saying nothing, I think what I'll do is I'll make sure the melee is okay, like make sure, hey, it's not your fault, and then say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cross with them and see how that story turns out. This is good so far. I do like it. A lot of reading, but it's okay. Still wonderful. Love it. Anyway, I don't know. Leave a comment. Say how you guys felt about the game. So, thank you guys so much for joining me for this. And until next time we meet, stay sunny side up, guys. Bye!